I want you to think about someone you know, or maybe it is you, who earns a genuinely decent income. A salary that should be more than enough to live comfortably, save regularly, and build something meaningful over time. And yet somehow, month after month, there's never quite enough left over. The paycheck comes in, life happens, and by the time the next payday arrives, the account is nearly empty again. This is not a rare situation. It is one of the most common financial experiences in the world, and it happens to people across every income level. There are people earning $40,000 a year who manage to save and invest consistently, and there are people earning $200,000 a year who are quietly one missed paycheck away from serious trouble. Income alone does not determine your financial outcome. What you do with it does. Today, we are going through the real reasons why most people stay broke even with a good income. The psychological traps, the systemic patterns, and the specific behaviors that keep the cycle going. And more importantly, what to do about each one. Reason 1. They have no system, only intentions. The number one reason people with good incomes stay broke is the absence of a real financial system. They have intentions, they intend to save more, they intend to cut back on spending, they intend to start investing soon. But intentions without a system are just wishes. A system means that money moves automatically to the right places the moment it arrives. Before you can spend it, a portion has already gone to savings. Before you feel the temptation to upgrade your lifestyle, the investment account has already been funded. The system removes the need for willpower and discipline in the moment, which is important because willpower is unreliable and discipline fades when life gets stressful. Think about it this way. You wouldn't rely on willpower alone to make sure your rent gets paid every month. You set up a direct debit or an automatic payment, and it just happens. Saving and investing should work exactly the same way. Set up an automatic transfer on payday that moves a fixed percentage of your income directly into your savings and investment accounts before you ever see it. Even 10% is transformative if it is consistent. The system does the work. You just have to set it up once. Reason 2. Lifestyle inflation grows with every pay rise. We touched on this in video 3, but it deserves its own full examination here because it is one of the most powerful and most silent wealth destroyers in existence. Lifestyle inflation happens when your spending rises in proportion to your income. You get a raise, so you move to a nicer apartment. You get a promotion, so you lease a better car. Your business does well, so you start eating at more expensive restaurants, taking bigger holidays, and upgrading things that were perfectly fine before. Each individual upgrade feels reasonable and well-earned, but collectively they consume every additional dollar you earn and leave your savings rate exactly where it was. The research on this is sobering. Studies consistently show that for most people, regardless of income level, their savings rate stays roughly the same as their income grows. They feel richer, they live better, but they are not actually building more wealth. The gap between what they earn and what they spend, which is the only number that truly matters for wealth building, stays the same or sometimes shrinks. The antidote is what some financial planners call a savings rate raise. Every time your income goes up, commit to directing at least half of that increase into savings or investments before your lifestyle adjusts to the new level. If you get a $500 a month raise, put $250 of it straight into your investment account and let your lifestyle absorb the other $250. Do this consistently and your wealth compounds while your lifestyle still improves. Over a career, this single habit creates an enormous difference in outcomes. Reason 3. They are drowning in subscriptions and passive spending. This one has quietly become one of the biggest financial leaks of the modern era. Subscriptions. Streaming services, gym memberships, software tools, meal kit deliveries, premium apps, cloud storage plans, news subscriptions, beauty boxes, gaming services. The list is almost endless, and each one feels affordable on its own. The problem is what happens when you add them all together. Research from financial services companies consistently finds that people significantly underestimate how much they spend on subscriptions each month. In studies where people are asked to estimate their monthly subscription spending and then shown their actual bank statements, the real number is typically 2 to 3 times higher than the estimate. These small recurring charges are psychologically invisible because they are automatic and individually small, but collectively they can easily consume several $100s a month. The fix is simple but requires actually doing it. Go through your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements and write down every recurring charge, every single one. Then ask yourself one honest question about each one. Have I used this in the last 30 days, and does it genuinely improve my life? If the answer to either part of that question is no, cancel it today. Not eventually, today. Set a calendar reminder to do this audit every 6 months, and you'll consistently find money that was silently leaking out without you noticing.
Reason 4. They use debt as an income extension. Credit cards, buy now, pay later services, personal loans for discretionary spending, these tools have made it extraordinarily easy to spend money you have not yet earned. And when used carelessly, they create a permanent state of financial deficit that good income alone cannot dig you out of. Here is how the trap works. You earn $5,000 a month, but between credit card payments, a car loan, a personal loan you took out 2 years ago, and a few buy now, pay later balances, your fixed debt obligations are $1,500 a month before you have spent $1 on rent, food, or anything else. That $5,000 income is effectively $3,500. And then when something unexpected comes up, because something always comes up, the easiest solution is to put it on the card and add to the pile. The result is what financial researchers call the debt treadmill. You are working hard and earning well, but most of the value of that work is flowing backward to service debt rather than forward to build wealth. The only way off the treadmill is to stop adding to the debt, attack the existing balances aggressively using the avalanche method we covered in video 4, and then redirect those freed up payments into savings and investments the moment each debt is cleared. High-interest consumer debt is the single biggest obstacle between a good income and financial freedom for most people in their 20s and 30s. Treating it as the emergency it actually is, rather than a normal part of life to be managed indefinitely, is one of the most important financial mindset shifts you can make. If this is hitting close to home and you want practical financial content like this every single week, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel right now. It is completely free, it takes 2 seconds, and it means you will not miss a single video going forward. All right, let's keep going because we still have some important ground to cover. Reason 5. They prioritize looking wealthy over being wealthy. This is perhaps the most culturally embedded reason on this list, and in many ways the most difficult to overcome because it is reinforced everywhere we look. Social media has created a world where the performance of wealth is more visible than ever before. The cars, the holidays, the restaurants, the outfits, the apartments, the constant visual pressure to signal status and success through consumption is relentless, and for many people, spending on visible symbols of success feels more urgent than building invisible wealth that nobody can see. But here's the reality that the research reveals over and over again. In The Millionaire Next Door, Stanley and Danko found that the majority of people driving expensive luxury cars were not wealthy. They were high earners with low net worth, people whose visible lifestyle consumed most of what they made. Meanwhile, the genuinely wealthy people in the study were far more likely to drive ordinary vehicles, live in modest homes, and spend in ways that attracted no attention at all. Real wealth is not visible. It is the investment account growing quietly in the background. It is the absence of financial stress. It is the freedom to make choices about your time and your work without being forced by financial pressure. None of that shows up on social media, but it is infinitely more valuable than anything that does. Reason 6. They never learned how money actually works. This is the one that underlies all the others, and it is the one that is least talked about because it involves acknowledging a real gap in how most people are educated. The vast majority of people go through 12 or more years of formal schooling without ever being taught how interest works, how to read a pay slip, what a tax bracket is, how credit scores are calculated, what an index fund is, how compound growth works, or how to build a budget that actually functions. These are not obscure topics. They are fundamental life skills that determine the quality of your financial life for the next several decades, and most of us were simply never taught them. The result is that most people make major financial decisions, taking on debt, choosing insurance, signing leases, picking investment options, with almost no real understanding of what they are doing. They follow what the people around them do, they take the default option, and they trust that things will somehow work out. Sometimes they do. Often they do not. The single most powerful thing you can do for your financial future, beyond any specific investment or saving strategy, is to commit to understanding how money actually works. Read one financial book every few months, watch thoughtful content from people who explain things clearly, ask questions, study the basics until they feel natural. The financial resources I have linked in the description below are a great place to start. Education compounds just like interest does, and unlike money, nobody can take it away from you.
Reason 7. They have no clear financial goal. The final reason is one that sounds simple but has an enormous practical impact. Most people who struggle financially despite a decent income have never sat down and defined what they are actually trying to achieve with their money. Not in vague terms like saving more or being better with money, but in specific, concrete, emotionally meaningful terms. What does financial freedom actually look like for you? Is it retiring at 55 with a specific monthly income? Is it owning a home outright? Is it building enough passive income to cover your essential expenses? Is it having a year of living expenses and savings so you never feel desperate about your job? Without a specific target, there is no plan, and without a plan, money tends to flow toward whatever feels good in the moment. Research on goal setting consistently shows that people with specific, written financial goals accumulate significantly more wealth than those without them. Not because the goals themselves are magic, but because having a clear target changes your daily decisions. Every purchase gets unconsciously evaluated against where you are trying to go. Every raise or bonus gets considered in the context of the goal rather than immediately absorbed by lifestyle spending. Take 15 minutes this week and write down 3 specific financial goals, one for the next 12 months, one for the next 5 years, and one for the next 20 years. Be specific, put real numbers on them, put them somewhere you will see them regularly. That exercise alone will begin to shift how you make financial decisions in ways that are difficult to fully explain but very easy to observe over time. 7 reasons why good income alone does not build wealth. Let's run through them one final time. Reason 1, no financial system, only intentions that fade when life gets busy. Reason 2, lifestyle inflation that silently consumes every pay rise before it can be saved. Reason 3, subscription and passive spending leaks that add up to hundreds of dollars a month nobody notices. Reason 4, using debt as an income extension and staying permanently on the debt treadmill. Reason 5, spending on looking wealthy instead of building actual wealth that nobody can see but you will absolutely feel. Reason 6, never learning how money actually works and making decades of important decisions without real knowledge. Reason 7, having no specific financial goal and therefore no compass for daily decisions. Every single one of these is fixable. None of them requires a higher income, a lucky break, or a complicated strategy. They require clarity, a system, and the willingness to make different choices than the people around you are making. The resources in the description below will help you go deeper on several of these topics. There are books, budgeting tools, and practical guides that I personally recommend and update regularly. Go check them out. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 7 reasons resonated most with you. And if you are not already subscribed to this channel, please do that now. We put out a new video every single week, and every one of them is designed to help you build a better financial life in a practical, no-nonsense way. Next video, we are breaking down compound interest in the simplest way possible, how it turns small amounts of money into serious long-term wealth, why time matters more than most people think, and the habits that allow compounding to completely change your financial future over time.